I am an occupational therapist. I work at King Edward Memorial Hospital. I work with patients who are admitted and require rehabilitation or assistance to return home and be discharged from hospital. I am also the clinical supervisor of occupational therapy at King Edward Hospital, and I manage a team of occupational therapists. Occupational therapy is important because we assist persons to return to their basic function, to their activities of daily living, to engage in activities that they would like to do, the things that they are challenged because they've had a change in physical, mental, or other difficulties based on illness or disease or injury. I think any student who may be interested in occupational therapy will need to consider their likes and dislikes, whether or not they are interested in a helping profession, because it is a helping and a caring profession, but there is also quite a lot of clinical knowledge required with respects to anatomy, biology, chemistry, sociology, psychology. So all of these things need to be considered. I would encourage students to look up all of the information they can, speak with current and existing occupational therapists, contact persons whom they know who may have had experience with receiving treatment from occupational therapy, and that way they can get an overall experience and understanding of what the true role of occupational therapy is. As an occupational therapist, I have a rewarding career and profession in assisting individuals resume their activities of daily living. They get to enjoy life and may learn to do things in a new and fun and exciting way. I work across the gamut of persons, age groups from pediatrics and babies and infants, children, adults to seniors, and I love it. If a person is seeking occupational therapy services, they are oftentimes find themselves unable to do activities that they did before. So they may have been in an accident, they may have suffered from a stroke, they may have disease processes that limit their ability to engage in activities such as washing, dressing, personal fun activities such as leisure activities, because they are no longer able to engage in the activities based on the illness process. So they may have reduced range of motion, they may have decreased strength, they may also have some difficulties with their thinking and problem solving, their vision, their perception. It's a large gamut of reasons a person may seek occupational therapy or OT. There's so many, I think it's difficult to encompass them all. But for most individuals, if they have a change in their ability to do what they would normally do and would like to do, occupational therapy is a good place to start to seek support and help.
I'm an occupational therapist at King Edward Memorial Hospital. I primarily work on medical and surgical wards, so I'll see anybody that has maybe fallen and had a hip injury or is scheduled for an amputation, or anybody that's just coming in that has any kind of medical issues such as congestive heart failure, COVID, anything that you can really think of. Otherwise, I also treat lymphedema patients. So primarily upper extremity and lower extremity swelling, do special things like bandaging, massage, and exercise specifically for lymphedema. And that population is primarily breast cancer patients that I've been working with. Occupational therapy is important because everyone functions. Everyone is waking up every day and doing something that they have to do or want to do to just progress through life. Function is something that occupational therapists are the masters of. We look at activity analysis, which breaks down every single activity to the smallest steps. And occupational therapists have this way of building rapport with patients because it's so intimate, the treatment, and I want you to expand your idea of what intimate means. It just means that we're really close and building something together to help the individual overcome challenges that they may be facing in any capacity to function on a daily basis. I always joke around and say that OTs are like the masters of all medical things because we have this, magic wand that gets patients out of bed and gets patients motivated to, be independent and try new things. My advice to students that are interested in a career for occupational therapy is to start to understand what function means to you, and then you can understand what dysfunction means as well. Occupational therapy as a scope is so vast that you could pretty much do anything. You tie an OT bow as far as function on anything with any population, as long as it's just progressing the patient towards independence or their version of independence. Again, OT is just so fun that you have so much variety, and there's no change, or there's no limit to what you want to do as an OT, working with pediatrics, geriatric patients, older adults. I work as a lymphedema therapist, which is a specialty beyond what your regular scope of practice is for lymphedema. In 2024, we have creative minds and are able to do really whatever we want to guide what we're satisfied in as a career. So I encourage students just to explore, talk with OTs in different areas of practice from birth to end of life. The coolest thing about being an occupational therapist is seeing the smile on patients' faces when they are finally successful in an activity that they've been working on for so long. It sounds crazy, but going to the bathroom or getting a shower for the first time in weeks after surgery, or anything that you are experiencing, is some of the best, rewarding experiences as an occupational therapist that you can understand. As an OT, I empower individuals to live an independent life, improve their quality of life through remediation or compensation of activities. As an OT, I am satisfied in my career and enjoy coming to work every day to experience new things with new clients. Not only am I teaching clients how to do new things or relearn how to do the things that they were used to doing, I learn along the way as well, and I think that's the best combination for a career.
As an occupational therapist, I work for the Department of Health, and I work for community rehab services. I work in the community with seniors and also the older pediatric population from middle school to senior school. As a community therapist, especially with the seniors, I'm working with people that have unfortunately gone through some traumatic event, and I'm trying to help them to return to work or within their homes so they can continue to be independent. When I'm working with the pediatric population in the middle and senior schools, I'm trying to make sure they're not only performing in their student role, but I'm also making sure that they can perform as a child outside of the school as well as in their home. When I'm working with those children, more specifically, I may work with someone that has an issue with handwriting or an issue with sensory processing or an issue with a neurological condition, where I'm helping them to gain independence in order for them to do everything that they need to do to function. As well as for a senior, I'm helping to make sure that they can age in place within their home, and if that's not the most appropriate place for them, I will help them find the right setting for them to age in place. How do I know when someone's going to improve? When it comes to occupational therapy, it is a long process. It does not happen overnight, it does take time. We are looking for small improvements within a person's function. We want to make sure that they're able to regain that independence or as close to it as possible. We might set small goals for them to achieve over time to give them that success, or we might wrap an entire program around something that they are motivated with in order to pursue their own goal or to return to independence. Right now, I may be working with someone that has had a stroke and they used to be a basketball player or a football player. I may use an entire program wrapped around basketball or football, which would be used as a motivating factor to pursue going back to the field, but also to help them return to being a teammate, as well as a husband, a father. I would use all those types of things that they are motivated in to help them pursue that independence. If a student is interested in occupational therapy, I would encourage them to reach out to local therapists within Bermuda. Bermuda is a very different jurisdiction than others, and we have unique features here that they may not see in other jurisdictions, as well as those other jurisdictions have things that we would never see in Bermuda. So we would help to mentor them. We would help to kind of open their eyes to different things that they have never seen before. We need to make sure that these students, one, are passionate about the profession of occupational therapy, but do not limit themselves into just one particular area. We need our therapists to be well-rounded here because there's so few of us here as it is now. As an occupational therapist, sometimes I'm looked at as a person's last resort. Being that special person to someone, I'm able to help them feel empowered and return to something they may have lost or something they would like to do again. I find that being that last resort for a person is not only unique but special to them and helps them to continue to pursue independence.
My role at the moment is an occupational therapist at the Department of Health. I work with the pediatric population typically, so that's birth to 17. We look at their sensory needs. We may work with students that may have been diagnosed with autism, students that may have some visual perception issues, difficulty focusing and attending in the classroom. So we ensure that they are able to participate in everything they need to do on a daily basis within the classroom environment, within the nursery, within the homes. With the population that I work with now, which is the pediatrics, we may have a child that was born premature, that is not developing as they need to or should develop typically. So we will work with those children to ensure that they are able to, let's say, feed adequately, sleeping, just being positioned correctly, and just so that they can connect with their parents and family and friends. So those are some of the things that we will work on with as an occupational therapist. We work through play. When it comes to children, we're looking at play. So we're looking at games, we're looking at different activities that the child would be engaged in so that we can get them to participate in. So whether it's building up muscle, whether it's, again, looking at their strength, looking at their ability to focus and attend, we're looking at those things. So it may be a game that we're playing with them so that we can get them to engage. To see them progress is absolutely rewarding. It's when you see a child who was not able to hug or play with their parents or with their siblings, and to actually turn around and see this child interacting with their family, it is definitely rewarding. I would say for a student that is interested in occupational therapy, for them to contact the Bermuda Occupational Therapy Association, reach out to any occupational therapist they may be aware of, and have conversations, see if they can come and shadow these therapists in many different roles. I mean, we have traditional roles. We are working with people from birth to death, essentially. So it's many roles that they can shadow in. We also participate in hand therapy. We have driving instruction or assessment just to make sure someone's safe to be able to return to driving. So it's many areas over the lifespan that occupational therapy works. So I would encourage them to go out and just explore, shadow them, and see what they can learn from that perspective. As an occupational therapist, the thing that makes me get up is ensuring that these children, again, can interact with the community. I think that as an occupational therapist, we have a skill that no other profession has. We have the skill that brings everything together. We look at every facet of a child or an adult or whoever we're working with to ensure they're able to do everything that they want to do or need to do on a daily basis. So I believe that we belong in every boardroom, every insurance company. We are the ones that are helping these people to get their lives back to what they want it to be, or at least as close as we can. We are looking at home modifications. We are looking at, again, their accessibility to the community, getting out to the grocery store. We're looking at if they can return back to work. So we are looking at so many areas. We're looking at the schools. We're looking to make sure that these children can just be an active participant in the school environment. So we are looking at so many areas that I think that we belong in every meeting if there's going to be any change and it affects a person.